This is the 2016 LEGO Star Wars Rebel U-Wing Fighter, set number 75155 with 659 pieces. It originally released on Force Friday of 2016 for $80. Adjusted for inflation in today's money, though, that's about $105. And with that price in mind, it does feel like it's probably not worth that much money, but at the same time, it's literally a near perfect set, as you'll see throughout this review. And so a very high price is a lot easier pill to swallow when they're providing a product that really fits their motto, only the best is good enough. Now, when you look at the top right of the box, you'll of course see that amazing Death Trooper with that sand blue kind of color behind it. Looks amazing. Love that key art for Rogue One, and just overall the box art on this set is beautiful. The back of the art, kind of matching with all the other Rogue One sets released at the time, has this blue tint to it, so even though it's on like the beaches of Scarif or whatever, it's going to have a blue color. It just kind of made everything match together, and of course you can see all of the features and things shown off on the back of the box. But anyway, getting into the unboxing here, inside you're going to find your instruction manual wrapped in plastic to protect it. You've also got bags numbered 1 through 5 here, and a fairly large sticker sheet. Now, within the instructions at the very back, you'll see all the minifigs from Rogue One, as well as that original Rogue One release wave, so a little blast of nostalgia maybe for you there. On to the minifigs. I think we have to start with Cassian Andor, and this is a minifig that has, in my opinion, flown under the radar. It's very good. I think most people recognize this as a good figure, but as I've looked back at it now for the first time in quite a while, it's got an exceptional amount of detail that I just didn't remember. Basically, you've got these canisters. That was one of my favorite things that happen on LEGO figures, is when LEGO will take a detail from the torso to the waist and to the legs. He's got these canisters that do just that. The print color as well doesn't have any washout to it because, you know, they're printing that dark blue, but it still matches the dark blue of the actual bricks above it, which is great to see. So you didn't necessarily need dual molded legs, although they certainly would have been nice here, but far from common in LEGO sets back in the mid-2010s. You've also got the hood down on the back. You've got the wrinkles in the sweater. Like, just the minifig guy in this era was absolutely cooking on Cassian Andor. The only thing I don't like about this figure, this is unilateral. Anytime it happens, I don't like it, of course. I don't know why anyone would. You can see that second face peeking through the back on the back side. It's like, of all the bad things that can happen on minifigs, it's probably the least bad thing, but I don't love when that happens. I do wish that was something that was more easily avoided. But yeah, you obviously are going to end up getting two facial expressions with that. Great figure, one that I think for a long time has probably been underrated. Doesn't get enough discussion as a really good figure from Rogue One. Another pretty good one here is Bistan, just an amazing mold for his head, obviously exclusive to this set from Rogue One, and they just absolutely killed it with him as well. Such a good job on him. Great detail all throughout the minifigure. I think most people love the olive green Lego color, and I think it looks particularly great here. Of course, you've got pupils in those red eyes of his. That's a great little detail to have, huh? Never thought they would take that away 10 years later. They certainly would have found a way to make this figure worse today, but I'm so glad it came out in 2016 because it came out at a time where a lot of the figure details and things were at an absolute peak. You've also got a U-Wing pilot, which is a fairly simple minifigure, but still looks great. I love the checker pattern on top of the helmet. Always love all the tubes and things that you'll see on these Rebel pilots these days. It just looks so good. So I think this figure in particular is just a great U-Wing pilot, very clean looking overall. Next, we've got a Rebel Trooper, which really does a great job of capturing the grit that the Rebel troops had in Rogue One. So I absolutely love that. And he's got a very cool helmet mold. They did a great job with that in particular. And I'm fairly certain it's not dual molded. I'm pretty sure the gray and the green and the little yellow marking on there are all just printed on. Anyway, finally, we have Jyn Erso with her poncho. She's got a lot going on. This figure is holding like a baton. She's got her weapon. She's got her satchel. She's got the helmet hair combo piece, which much like the Rebel Trooper helmet, looks like it should be dual molded, but actually I'm pretty sure it's just a very nice print paint job on this one. Just such a good helmet. They had such good helmets in this era for LEGO Star Wars and molds, and like they were doing such a good job here, right? And the Jyn Erso overall also just looks phenomenal, especially with that poncho. It does kind of make having any printing underneath useless because it's all covered up, but if you ever lost it or just wanted to take it off, it's nice that the detail is underneath. It's just, you know, for a collector like me, I'm always going to keep the poncho on because that's how it came in the set. So the great print job that actually is underneath is so wasted. It's sad. Across the board, we've got 5 amazing minifigs in this set. LEGO really gave such great attention to detail on the characters in this era and didn't like mess with things for no reason. The only thing that's kind of missing here is like footprinting. That's what you would maybe expect these figures to have 9 years later, but otherwise they're they're fairly timeless in their quality, and they're just so good looking. So I love them. And plus 5 minifigs in what would today be a $105 set, I feel like you might get 4 if you're lucky, right? 5 feels generous in a set like this. So I love that too. I think the amount of figures on top of the quality is fantastic. So great figure selection for this U-Wing set. Now, I want to talk about a little bit of the building process for the U-Wing before we actually show the full U-Wing, and it's just kind of interesting how this set is built. You basically build this flat panel of the U-Wing, and then you attach the underside. It's super cool. Like, you don't build it bottom up. You build the middle, and then you build the bottom and attach it on, and then you build on top of that. It's just a very different process that I thought was cool and wanted to show you some of the insight to if you've never built this 2016 U-Wing. The finished build for this thing, of course, is incredible, but there is one thing that I think that holds this build back from being pure perfection, and that is the printing of the windscreen piece. It's nice that it's printed, it's got a great design, but ultimately the white doesn't match the white, and it's not a subjective thing. It just is what it is, and it sucks even more, especially when LEGO advertises it on the box as matching, and then it doesn't actually match in the set. It's like insult to injury. It's already bad, but they're also teasing you with the idea that, hey, look at what it could look like. So yeah, I just don't love that. This is the only thing on the set I really don't like. Otherwise, I think it's time to get into the details. Let's open that cockpit. But hey, that's not how you open the cockpit. You see, this set is extra. This set goes above and beyond where it doesn't need to. See this here? You just push that in and it opens the cockpit. How ridiculous is that? Why do we need to have that when you can just open it, right? I think the obvious rationale behind that is that this is like recessed into the body of the U-Wing. So like you can't really pick it up from the front. So yeah, you can grab it from the side, but I don't know, maybe they thought that would be difficult. It's not. You can just open it very easily. So it really is extra to have this function to like pop open the cockpit windscreen, but it's cool that they did that. It's been so long since I played with this set, I totally forgot this feature was even here. And honestly, it was a big wow moment for me of like the extra level of quality and attention to detail, like that this might be a function that is needed to open the cockpit for someone somewhere, even though I don't think it is crazy. Like, it's just nice to have. And that's not something you get with a lot of the modern downsized models of LEGO Star Wars sets. It's only something you can get with a model that has the size and perfection that this does. So that's lovely. Anyway, opening up inside the cockpit, you're going to have a printed control panel, which is a standard piece that we've seen 100 billion times. We don't get anything unique there. And then you've got a seat for your U-Wing pilot. No studs, so you won't have to worry about him getting stuck there, which is nice. Also, because they use that specific piece, it does add some grip between the legs. So even though there are no studs, there is something still holding him somewhat in place there so that he's not just freely floating around. Let me get that properly down. So even though there are no studs, if you flip it over, see how he doesn't just fall out? It's kind of nice, right? U-Wing pilot looks great in there, and other than the white not matching the white, the cockpit is great. The other interior section on the U-Wing is, of course, the underbelly of this thing, and it looks pretty crazy. I got it in a vertical orientation right now, but it's pretty dope. First off, it is plenty sturdy, so it can be a really good way to hold your U-Wing. So like the doors, you can press in on them, and they're not going to fold in on themselves or anything. The backside of it is sturdy. Even these panels on the front, they definitely aren't a great place to hold it, but they don't easily get knocked out of place. They still can, but it's not something that's done particularly easily, in my opinion. It's important to get these stickers to line up so that the black lines on them line up. Otherwise, it's just going to look a little bit wonky. So I thought that was kind of an important part of the build process for me. You have this whole side panel, though, and the entire door can open up. You just grab this little black piece here and pull it back and away. And just like that, you've got some interior access there. It's going to be the exact same deal on the other side of the U-Wing, and you can notice there's a bit of an overhang. It's a little bit tough for me to get my hand in here to maybe pull out the little turret, and you can actually pull the wings on top back, and so I'll show you how that feature works in a minute in depth, but just to make our lives easier, that's how I've gotten to the inside of this U-Wing. Now, if I recall correctly, in Rogue One, they had these little turrets on the U-Wing, and they were shooting down the AT-ACTs, and so they've kind of recreated that play function here. And so with the stud shooter, you can put it out to the side and fire it off just like any stud shooter you've ever seen before. And then actually looking inside of there, you'll notice there is a seating area where that stud shooter previously occupied the space. And so you can actually take a minifig and sit them inside, and you can do that on both sides of the Ewing. And then I think there's even enough space that if you're really careful, you can actually fit all 4 minifigs into the underside of the Ewing alongside your pilot on top. And so you can actually fit everything inside of here. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't seem like this set would hold 5 minifigs in total, but it is possible. I just don't know why you would. And one more thing on the underbelly, there's the giant clear windscreen piece that I think looks really good. It's got a couple extra stickers for detail and really helps shape out the bottom side of this Ewing. Looks great overall. The next big feature this Ewing has is one that I alluded to in the idea that these panels or wings on the Ewing can open up and they can flip all the way back like they're supposed to, just like the source material. It's really fantastic. Like, that's crazy that they were able to integrate that so perfectly and in a really strong way. Now, you can't just pick up the whole Ewing from the tip and expect it not to break, but it still can be held like this, which I think is pretty dope. Like, it's fairly sturdy. It's basically now I guess if I hold it by one, it snapped there, you might have seen. So maybe don't hold it one at a time, but you can hold 2 at a time and be pretty okay. I still think you should hold it by the back of the Ewing. It just makes more sense, but the wings are built in a very sturdy way, which is great. There's basically a ball joint here and they attach. That's like, they back into that and attach, and then it's basically the same thing on the other end of the point here that attaches into the main body of the Ewing. What I think I like about it most, outside of the obvious accuracy aspect, is that it's super easy to pull them apart, right? But it's not something that comes undone unintentionally. So you can swoosh the ship around, like, you know, give it all the G-force you want, whatever. And, you know, these aren't just going to come flying forward on you. It's not going to happen. So it's something that you have to do intentionally, which is nice. You know, it's not like the panels go flying all over the place and it feels floppy. And yeah, it just feels premium. So that's a truly great feature, in my opinion. And obviously it adds a lot to the playability on top of like the standard swooshability of the set, which the set also excels at just because it's a very sturdy model and it, you know, flies like a spaceship. It's got a nice sleek design. Speaking of design, before we take a look at the last play feature on this set, I want to talk about what they've done. I think the color combo is great. You've got white, you got blue, you got a little bit of light gray, little touch of yellow here and there, and it's really accurate. Just across the board, they've done a great job getting the colors to be correct where they need to be correct. The overall proportion of the ship is also very good. The engines at the back really fit the size of this ship, and they've even got some stickers to add on the blue striping for that extra bit of detail at the front end of the engine. So I think that's great. You got that little bit of orange thrust coming out of the back, which is always a nice addition of color. And then kind of underrated, but the middle back area of this Ewing is really solid looking. You've kind of got the Wolverine claws used as a detail piece. You've got an engine piece in there. And then I always love the little grill pieces. Those are always great for extra detail. And it's just a very sturdy section of the Ewing here. It's a good area to hold it. And one more thing that's not shown on the box, kind of interestingly, as a play feature, it kind of feels like a loading ramp at the back of the Ewing. I think it's just done this way to get the angle correct on the backside, but it also could theoretically, for like a kid, be used as a loading ramp. The final play feature on this Ewing is, of course, these spring-loaded shooters, and they work in a really great way. On top of the fact that they're nicely hidden inside of the Ewing, they aren't an eyesore. You know, you've got the main cannons that are actually supposed to be there, and then you've got the play feature cannons that are just inside of them. Anyway, you've got this little piece here, this little tile pops up just a little bit. That's what you got to press to shoot off the spring-loaded shooters. I guess they both shoot at once. I thought they were going to shoot one at a time. Let me try that again, actually. It's been 9 years since I played with a Ewing set, so I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering. See how this is popping up independently of the other side? So, I just kind of figured it would be... Let me try pressing the other side. Yeah, one at a time. Interesting. Okay, maybe it was just a glitch in the matrix. And one more test just to give us a slightly larger sample size. 1 and 1. Yeah, okay. I think it's supposed to shoot one at a time. I don't know why I shot 2 at the first time. I feel like a set like this is representative of what LEGO Star Wars is at the peak of its powers, or perhaps was if the golden age has truly passed us by at this point in 2025, as I'm re-reviewing this set with the release of Andor Season 2 on the horizon and a new Ewing in 2025. But, you know, you've got a very nicely sized realised build. You've got a lot of accurate details on said build. You've got a lot of minifigures that are accurate, and 5 in a set like this was probably above what the going rate would be in today's world for a set of the same price and size and piece count and everything. So I appreciate the number of minifigs alongside the quality of them, and the price for this back in the day felt fair at $80. $105 adjusted for inflation changes my view, but maybe it's only because it surpasses that $100 point. But the build is fantastic. The minifigs are fantastic. This is the best U-Wing that LEGO has ever made up to this point in 2025, with the re-release included in that statement. So if you're looking for the best LEGO official U-Wing, this is the one. If you're looking for one that's more affordable, maybe that 2025 version is going to be it for you. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments section below. I'm obviously very high on this one. If it weren't for that dang windscreen, this would be perfection. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like button. You can check out more 2016 LEGO Star Wars set reviews on the end screen now.